Good morning, friends. Myself Amit from Plutus IAS, and a very good morning to all of you. So let us begin with the Hindu analysis for 24th July 2020. Okay. So the first topic we are going to discuss is women granted permanent commission. Women have been granted the permanent commission in Indian Army. Okay. So recently Ministry of Defense came with an announcement that there has been a granting of permanent commission to women in Indian Army. Okay, so this would be conducted. There would be this formation of this permanent commission selection board for affected women commissioners, and this board is for all. This commission is for all streams, all 10 streams in which the women were presently serving as short service commission officers. Okay, so in all these boards this permanent commission is granted, and this announcement came after the Supreme Court verdict in the FAB, in which the Supreme Court directed that the government should grant the permanent commission and command posting in all services other than combat for women. Okay, so what Supreme Court said, they said that the government should grant permanent commission and command postings in all services other than combat for women, right? So okay, this would pay what would happen, what are the implications of women coming? Okay, what are the implications of women entering? So the implications, the pros are that the pros would form is the larger talent pool. Okay, with coming of women, larger talent pool would be there with Indian Army to be used as Indian Army commissioned officers. Okay, then there would be better gender parity and equality. Okay, gender parity and equality. This would empower women, especially the status of women in the eyes of population. Okay, so gender parity and equality. So this would fulfill the fundamental right prospects, the fundamental rights of Article 14 to 18. Okay, so constitutional provisions fulfilled. Then there are cons as well, as women deployment of women in physical role is a tough task, or is a problem actually. Then there is problem of this patriarchal traditional setup of army, where it might or might not be good to post women as superior officers, as there is presence of patriarchal attitude, which is a crude reality in India. Okay, so we hope that this would improve status of women and would improve their inclusion in at better positions, lead to empowerment, especially the women-led empowerment of India. Okay. The next point or the next topic we are going to discuss is the brew community. So what is brew community? Brew is actually a tribal community. Okay, brew is actually a tribal community in Northeast. Okay, they live in Northeast, especially in states of Mizoram, Tripura, and in nearby states. Okay, in Northeast, in Mizoram and Tripura. So they were basically they were from Mizoram, but due to some ethnic clashes with other tribal communities in the region, these brew community fled. Okay, so from Mizoram, here we have Mizoram and here we have Tripura, right? Sorry, here we have Manipur, here we have Mizoram, and here we have Tripura. So from Mizoram, this community fled to Tripura. Okay, so now they are settled in refugee camps. Okay, now they are settled in refugee camps. Most of them are living in almost 33,000. Almost 33,000 of them are living in refugee camps, and there has been formation of various organizations and various agreements of brew community with the state government and central government for their resettlement. But this brew community, they rejected the repatriation. Okay, they rejected their repatriation back to Mizoram, though there were some 5,000 families resettled in Mizoram. But now the brew community has rejected their repatriation, and in recent tripartite agreement, actually it's a agreement between four. One is the central government, other is Tripura government, then third one is Mizoram government, and other is the leaders of brew community. Okay, leaders of brew community. So it is a kind of agreement between these four that they would be resettled in Tripura itself. Okay, so this is the background. I'm telling you the background of the brew community. I will come to the news later. Okay, so this brew community is now to be resettled in Tripura, and this brew community has demanded several things. They demand 25 square foot land in addition to agriculture land. In addition to agriculture land to each member of brew community. Okay, to each member of brew community. Then this demand is rupees 5,000 per month stipend. Okay, per month stipend and ration. This is for up to 2 years after resettlement. And then the third demand is for inclusion of brew community in Tripura state voter list. Okay, in Tripura state voter list, right? So this is the these are their demands, and government has promised a kind of package. Government has promised a kind of package fulfilling some of these demands. Okay, fulfilling some of these demands. Also, one fact is that this brew community is PVTT. These are particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Okay, they are the tribal communities which have very low level of development in all education, economy. Okay, so they have very poor standards of development. They are living in extreme poverty and hunger. Their challenges are far greater than other tribal communities. Okay, so they are recognized as PVTGs, so that better efforts can be, or targeted efforts can be made for them, for their improvement. Okay, so coming to the news of this brew community, recently the non-brews of Tripura, they are also not very much accepting the brew community, but they have proposed 6 places. Okay, so they want, now they say that they are ready for brew settlement in Tripura, but this should not be arbitrary. Okay, this resettlement should not be arbitrary. They want to identify places where only on these places brew community can be resettled. So for now, you can say it is a good approach. Okay, for the initial settlement, it can be a good approach. Later, there can be cooperation or interaction among these communities. So what happened that they have set up a limit for the number of families to be accommodated in 2 subdivisions because to end this 23-year-old refugee crisis of brew community. Okay, to end this 23-year-old crisis of brew community. Okay, so they are saying that locals are not against the settlement of brew communities from adjoining Mizoram, but they just cannot be settled at random. They have to be settled at identified 6 places, and they have given the name of these 6 identified places here. Okay, so I think we have done with this. Okay, so now there is resettlement of brew in Tripura. Okay, and this should be expedited because the brew community has bear the brand for many years, and now they seek a peaceful resettlement, and it should be peaceful life. A right to life with dignity is a fundamental right, and it shows here, it includes this resettlement process. Okay, to live with peace and dignity. Okay, then this conservation and preservation key to Lunar Lake development. So recently what happened, this Lunar Lake turned pink. Okay, this Lunar Lake, it turned pink. So it became a question that what happened to the lake? Is it due to pollution, or is it due to a natural cause, some natural cause? So now the scientists from NEERI and from other environmental organizations in Pune have come out with the fact that it is because of halobacteria. Halobacteria. They are salt-loving bacteria. And secrete pink pigments. Okay, they secrete pink pigments, and it is purely a natural cause which has turned this lunar lake to pink in color. Okay, so what this there is presence of also this Dunalila algae. and this halobacteria, okay, halobacteria and Dunaliella algae. They have turned this lake pink. Now, recently, Bombay High Court took the point in consideration and asked that there is need to appreciate the biology, geology, and aesthetic value of this lake, and the government of Maharashtra should allot better funds, and utilization of those better funds should be done for conservation of this Lunar Lake. The history of Lunar Lake, actually Lunar Lake is a lake in Buldhana district of Maharashtra and is believed to have been formed by a meteorite. Okay, it has been believed to have been formed by a meteorite. A meteorite hit the earth 50,000 years ago, led to formation of this lunar lake. Okay, it is also a popular tourist hub in Maharashtra, and yes, it recently turned pink. A man called Mr. Kaptan, a man named Mr. Kaptan, he argued that there were funds allotted to Maharashtra Tourism Development Corporation. Around 91 crores were allotted, but they are not properly utilized. Okay, so Supreme Court has come to rescue, and the Bombay High Court has come to rescue of this lake, and they said that there should be proper establishment of an umbrella organization so that better conservation efforts of lake in its entirety can be done. And they have accepted the suggestion of Mr. Kaptan to appoint a nodal officer as to act as umbrella authority for all agencies in this conservation of lake, in the efforts of the lake conservation. Okay, and also the court has appointed the collector of Buldhana as this nodal authority. Okay, and Niri is also working with this lake, this water color of water, and they have found that this is natural, okay, due to natural reasons. So we hope for its better conservation and a better tourist destination, okay, so that it can fulfill its various purposes. Okay. Okay. So the next topic we are going to see is calibrated balance. Actually, it's an editorial article where the writer is representing some of the statements of Mr. S. Jaishankar. Mr. S. Jaishankar is India's foreign minister, right? Mr. S. Jaishankar is India's foreign minister, and he has said that the global challenges in present scenario are pulling India into several directions. So the non-alignment is not a feasible idea for India in present world. Okay. As per him, the NAM is now a bygone era thing. Okay, it is now a thing of bygone era, and today in today's multipolar world, it is necessary for India to take definite stand. Okay, to make alliances, because these alliances can help India in overcoming problems like defense. Okay, we are one of the largest importer of weapons. Okay, one of the largest importer of weapons. I think second now, or probably second or third. Okay, as per SIPRI report, there is a report called SIPRI by Stockholm, published from Stockholm, which publishes the this sale and purchase of weapons throughout the world. Okay, so India is one of the second or third largest importer of weapons in the world, and thus for our defense, to improve our defense capabilities, we need to have better alliances. Okay, like with the US, Russia, Israel. Okay, then in terms of cyber security, as it is becoming a new arena. Okay, cyber war is now a new arena of war. So here also we need to improve our capabilities, and we need better talent, better technologies, transfer of technology things. Okay, from countries like Japan, US, okay, EU. So we need to make alliances so that we can secure our interests in terms in defense, cyber security. Then we need alliances in terrorism so that our issue of terrorism can be globally recognized. Okay, our stand can be recognized globally. Okay, and then climate change, for example of formation of International Solar Alliance with France, so shows that such alliances are necessary for India now. Okay. So the claim of S. Jaishankar seems in right direction. Okay. Also, there are things what with the writer claim. The writer says that there is US-China Cold War. Okay. A kind of new Cold War era has been created between US and China, especially after that consulate close and the closing of that consulate in Houston, and the rise of tensions, like in that trade war. So this has led to the Pacific tussle between US and China. So this has created a kind of new Cold War. And India, as India shares land boundary with China, and we are having some relations with US, it seems that with rising tensions with China, we need better allies. Okay, and US seems one of the possible allies India can have. So indirectly, it can be said that India is being drawn or pulled to this US-China tensions, and some of our experts are against this India's tilt towards US, because it will draw us more into this US-China tussle. Okay, more into this war. So here, as Shankar rightly puts that India in this present multipolar world needs its own stand. Okay, we need to have our own stand. Okay, which is without compromising our independence. Though it is difficult for India to have its definite stand, but it is necessary. Okay, why it is difficult? See, let us see that our interest in Iran, in Chabahar port, in Iran's oil, are very much they are in our interest. Okay, very much they are in our interest. But India, due to pressure from US, is not very much engaging, or there is restrictions on our engagement. Okay, there has been, though we are committed, but there are some restrictions on our engagement. So what the answer is that India should have a definite stand. Okay, like the countries like US have a definite stand. Okay, then Russia have a definite stand, then EU, European Union, a group of 27 European countries, they also have their definite stand. So India should also become one of the pole, okay, of today's multipolar world. So India should also become one of the poles to with its definite decision, okay, serving its interest, okay, serving our geopolitical and other interests. Okay, also, the article says about that Indo-US cooperation is increasing in many domains, especially the maritime collaboration, which can irk China to escalate tensions further, like the recent one on LAC. So India needs to be worried. India needs to be worried to tilt more towards one. Okay, we need to have our independent stand so that we can get a global recognition of our stand. Okay, we need our definite stand with global recognition rather than going to pressures of some countries. Okay, so and India has taken some steps in this direction as well to maintain its independency. Like India, despite there has been tensions with Beijing, it was speculated that India would get in stronger clinch with Washington, but it has not been done so. Okay, the government has not raised the China tensions issue on any global forum. This shows that we are still having our independent policy, and we are not tilting towards US or any other country. Okay, then also we have accepted the acceptance of Russia's mediation was also a significant step, because there has been tripartite meeting like this RIC. So these kind of platform provide consensus based dialogues, okay, rather than going into someone else domain. Okay, they provide consensus based dialogues where our tensions like between China and India can be solved with talks. Okay, we can talk, we can develop a consensus, we can go with for confidence building measures as our border disputes, a solution to our border disputes. We can go for confidence building measures. Okay, so India, and this shows that yes, India is independent in its decision making. Okay, our outreach to Moscow, our attempts to seek coalition with middle powers like European Union and Japan, and this is yes, really it is improving to maintain our multilateralism. Okay, to maintain multilateralism of our relations and not tilt just in one direction. Okay, so yes, we are not rejecting the NAM in its entirety, as it garners such support of developing nations and LDCs. So claiming that, as many experts recently claim that India is tilting more towards US, Quad, okay, these kind of groups, okay. So no, this the statements from these statements from S. Jaishankar, they clarify that no, it is not so. India has its own definite stand. Okay. Yes, the thing is that we need to be more firm on this. Okay, we need to become more firm on this time. Okay. Now, the US-China tensions, as I told you, that US-China tensions have implications for India as well. Okay, we since China's because of Chinese aggressions on LAC, we are there is a creation of gap between India and China. Okay, and yes, with our increasing ties with US, we are having better relations, and they are turning into ally. Okay, they are turning into better ally with cooperation in this field of maritime space, etc. So this shows that we are there's a kind of shift, in India's relations. So coming to the topic here, that US China ties, okay, US China ties, they have implications on India. So what happened recently, that the US closed China's consulate, or asked them to close the China's consulate in Houston. And also there is news that they will be also closure of their this consulate in San Francisco. Why the US is doing so? Because the US is accusing China of this economic espionage. There has been news on this economic espionage, and there has been news on this visa fraud and attempted theft of scientific research. Yes, we have seen several kind of internet hackers with large scale hacking activity. Recently, Australia also claimed that there was an hacking attack on their system, and this was though not clear, but their indication was towards China. Okay, so what we see today, that there is an anti-China rhetoric in entire globe, and the US with the tensions of US and China, which took off with the trade deal, seems to be now on peak. Okay, or you can say the relations are on extremity of their lows. Okay, so what is things here are that yes, so there was a case that a military official, sorry, a kind of scientist, sorry, a woman scientist in US. She was the arrest warrant was issued against her. What China did, they gave her मतलब पना दी थी उन्होंने अपने यहाँ. So they asked her to come to their consulate. Okay, so they asked her to come to their reside in their consulate. Okay, reside in their consulate to prevent her from being arrested. This was to prevent her from being arrested, right? To prevent her from being arrested, or to prevent her. So why was this arrest warrant issued against her? The arrest warrant issued against her because US says that this woman scientist, she hide her relations with China's army. Okay, she hide her relations with China's army in her visa application. Okay, and that is there are things in visa application which are to be disclosed, but this Chinese scientist, she did not disclose her ties with Chinese army. Okay, so now when this information is in open, the US has issued an arrest warrant against her, and China has prevented her from getting arrested. So this has led to these accusations of economic espionage, visa fraud, attempt of scientific research, and also China has took various actions now. US has took various actions. There has been series of measures and countermeasures which are taking these US-China relations to extremes of their at very low. Okay, they are taking them to very low. Okay, so what some recent steps of US, like restricting visa for students. Okay, so they have asked Chinese students to go. Actually, they have asked the students having complete online courses to leave the country. And Chinese students are the maximum, they contribute to the maximum of foreign students in US. Okay, then there has been sanctions on Chinese officials on Hong Kong security law, as recently the Hong Kong security law came into existence from China, and after this US has provided these sanctions, okay, imposed these sanctions, right? Now, also there has been planning of complete banning of those CPC members, the Communist Party of China members, CPC members. There is a plan that they should be completely banned from entering US. Okay, so the in larger terms, the implications of this Chinese aggression, the behavior of US, and with the global problem of this rising pandemic, what it is going to say is that the global tensions or the geopolitical tensions are further to rise, which is not good for entire world. Okay, so there should be platforms where these superpowers can resolve their bilateral issues. Okay, then there's an editorial on deepening ties of India and South Korea. Okay, so this article claims that India and South Korea, there's lesser people to people contact, and they are need to be improved. Coming to the some background of India-South Korea relations, we have bilateral trade of around $21 billion. Both the economies are of nearly same size, as South Korea is of $2.5 trillion approx, and India is close to $3 trillion. Okay, so they are nearly of same size. Then we have spatial strategic partnership with South Korea, and we are also thinking of starting a Korea Plus initiative to improve FDI and investments in India. Okay, and it is better part of our India's Act East policy. Okay, so it is very much part of our international relations in paper 2, right? International relations in GS paper 2. Okay, so what this article claims, okay, we also have this comprehensive economic partnership, kind of free trade agreement, and India has quite larger imports from South Korea, especially the mobile phones and electronic items from companies like Samsung, LG. They have large scale presence in India. And then Hyundai, which is for automobiles, Hyundai and Kia. Okay, so these are very large MNCs having great presence in Indian market. Okay, Indian economy. So this article says that though there were efforts like ICC, Indian Cultural Center was opened in Seoul 10 years ago, but most of the activities of this cultural center is focused on elite class, and similar is the case with South Korean Cultural Center in India. So what is needed is to improve our people to people ties. There is a prejudice in South Korea for Indian that they are third world country with poverty, hunger, etc. Though we haven't completely eradicated them, but yes, to having making it a kind of using it for prejudice is wrong. Okay, and similar is the case for India with South Korea. Indians have very little knowledge of South Korean culture, very little awareness of South Korean culture, and for us they are not very dissimilar, they are not very different from Chinese and South Asian natives. Okay, for us they are very not very different from Chinese and South Asian natives. But to improve our cultural ties, people to people contact can help India in improving our research and development capabilities with the aid of South Korea. Then there can be technology transfers as research and development and universities of South Korea are having better standards. Then there can be cultural ties like Bollywood and between Bollywood and Korean film industry. Okay, because Korean film industry is on rise now. Okay, they have won the Oscar now. There was this movie called Okay, I think I don't remember the name. So recently the Korean movie got the Oscar. Okay, and Bollywood was also a great industry, so they can have cultural ties. Okay, so and also there can be ties in terms of geopolitical, especially in the Asia Pacific. Okay, especially in Asia Pacific, where to counter Chinese hegemony in global supply chains, in Indian Ocean region. Okay, in Indian Ocean region. So these ties can be fruitful for both the countries in the longer term. है ना? So we need to focus on increasing our people to people ties. Okay, now coming to this, this is a short news, and this also covers a part of international relations with Bangladesh, which is a country called Bangladesh. So what happened recently? This Pakistan's Prime Minister he made a phone call to Sheikh Hasina. She is Prime Minister of Bangladesh. So the call was to talk about the crisis or the pandemic, but he raised the issue of peace in Pakistan. So recently, the Bangladesh has said that their position is that Kashmir is an internal matter of India. And yes, our this Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, Mr. Anurag Srivastav, has praised this trend of Bangladesh and said that we have long time tested relations with Bangladesh, and we appreciate these kind of moves. Okay, we are also celebrating this Mujib Barsho in memory of this Mr. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who is the founder of Bangladesh, and he fought for Pakistan for freedom of Bangladesh. Okay, and India supported in that cause. Okay. And with this, I would like to thank you for the day. I've completed many positive news as well as negative news, and I hope that you have a good day. Thank you.